by Alice Phillips. Day 1, The Long Road to Serenity. Pitch black Cairo. I was barely awake when my driver arrived, but somehow that only made it feel more like an adventure. 10 hours on the road might sound grueling, but watching the city dissolve into endless dunes was unexpectedly therapeutic. By the time we pulled into Siwa, the fatigue had melted into curiosity. First stop? Brunch, and oh, did I need it! I sat down to a relaxed, rustic meal, surrounded by nothing but date palms and desert stillness. This was the Siwa I had dreamed of. Then came Shali, the old town. Crumbling mud brick towers jutted toward the sun like the remains of a forgotten civilization. Walking through its narrow alleys felt like stepping into a sand-colored fairy tale. The silence was profound. Just the wind, my footsteps, and the ghosts of ancient stories. Next up, the Salt Lakes. I had heard they were surreal, but floating there under the golden glow of sunset was beyond words. The water held me effortlessly, like the earth itself saying, "Rest now." Later, wrapped in a scarf against the evening chill, I warmed up in a natural hot spring tucked beside a remote campsite. It was the perfect contrast. Cool desert air on my face, steamy warmth curling around my legs, and then magic. Dinner by candlelight at Taziry Eco-Village. Set against the fading desert light, with nothing but stars above and traditional Siwan dishes in front of me, I forgot time existed. Summary of the day. The moment I floated in those salt lakes, I knew I had left my old self behind. Day 2, mystics, sand, and starlight. Waking up in Siwa is like waking up inside a watercolor. Palm trees swayed outside my window, and the scent of bread baking drifted in with the breeze. After breakfast, we began exploring. First was the Mountain of the Dead, a haunting hill pockmarked with tombs. Inside the ancient chambers, I imagined the whispers of centuries past. Then, the Oracle Temple of Amun, the same one that Alexander the Great once visited. Touching its weathered stone, I wondered if he had stood right where I stood. We passed by Cleopatra's water spring, which was bubbling gently like it had secrets to tell. I dipped my hand in, warm, silky, and timeless. By mid-afternoon, it was time for the 4x4 safari into the great sand sea. And wow, if there's anything that makes you feel like a speck in the universe, it's flying over golden dunes, wind in your hair, with nothing but sand and sky for miles. Our picnic lunch there? Simple, perfect, and full of laughter as the sun began its descent. I tried sandboarding and screamed all the way down like a kid. When I climbed back up, out of breath and beaming, the desert rewarded me with the most incredible sunset I've ever seen. After dark, a private dinner beneath the stars made me fall in love with the desert all over again. The sky in Siwa doesn't twinkle, it blazes. Before returning, I took a peaceful walk through Siwa's old market, where the smell of spices and sound of local chatter tucked me gently back into reality. Summary of the day? Watching the sun sink into the great sand sea from atop a dune. I'll carry that image forever. Day 3, goodbye, Oasis. I didn't want to leave. After breakfast, I sat outside for a few last minutes, soaking in the silence. The stillness of Siwa had worked its way into my soul. As we began the drive back to Cairo, I found myself whispering quiet thanks to this sacred place for everything it had shown me. Summary of the day: the silence of Siwa isn't empty. It's full of peace. And I did